Spurs and Thunder set the tip-off at 8:30. Let's welcome in Erik Horne, who covers the Thunder for the Oklahoman. Erik, Paul George has been an MVP candidate for the Thunder. How long is he expected to be out, and who's going to start in his place tonight?
You know, it's day-to-day at this point. Billy Donovan usually doesn't reveal who's going to start in certain instances, particularly when it comes to those guys like Paul George. It's probably going to be either Dennis Schroeder or Markieff Morris. Last game we saw Markieff Morris, and the Thunder struggled having him and Jeremy Grant kind of go between power forward and small forward. You would think that Dennis Schroeder may get the call tonight, depending on who the Spurs started. They go big with Jakob Poeltl. It could be a situation where Markieff Morris may, but I would say probably Dennis Schroeder tonight, just because we saw Markieff Morris not be particularly effective with that starting unit in the last game. But we'll see, because the Thunder's got another game tomorrow and Sunday against Memphis, so it would be great if they could save up Paul George for that game and bring him back on Sunday.
Well, certainly they've had issues shooting the ball in their last three, shooting just 42% from the field and 28% from three-point range. What's the main cause of their recent shooting struggles?
You know, guys like Dennis Schroeder have to shoot better. I heard 3D talking about Russell and his shooting struggles. When Russell gets to shooting more three-pointers, it's typically not necessarily because Russell feels the need to shoot a bunch of three-pointers, but it's because other guys around him aren't making those shots. I don't know if that's something that's internal in Russell or something he's thinking about intentionally, but Dennis Schroeder's got to shoot better. He's shooting about 29% in the 4 games after the break for the Thunder, and it's no coincidence that the Thunder's offense has struggled when Dennis Schroeder hasn't shot the ball well. This is a guy who missed some time, or he missed at least one game because of the birth of his first child, and he's still trying to find his footing in the offense post All-Star break.
Erik, Caron Butler here. When you're looking at some of these young guys and you're looking at this stretch going into the playoffs, which of these guys in particular need to step up in a major way in order for OKC to make a real run at it?
It's a combination. Your first start goes to Terrence Ferguson, who's played tremendous defense all season. He needs to continue to shoot the ball at the same clip that he had pre-All-Star break. He hasn't shot as much in the last few games. Some of that's circumstantial. Against Denver, he didn't play the last 15 minutes with Billy Donovan going with Dennis Schroeder as opposed to him. Billy Donovan said that wasn't a situation where he thought Terrence Ferguson did anything wrong necessarily, but he thought that Dennis Schroeder got hot in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and he was correct, and he rode with him down the stretch. Now, Terrence Ferguson is going to be key, and with the wing depth the way it is, no Alex Abrinas, a guy who was waived because of some personal issues that was a mutual decision between he and the Thunder. Paul George misses some games. Schroeder's got to shoot better. Abdul Nader, a guy in his short minutes, he has to shoot the ball better. So those guys combined, they're going to really have to kind of get back to the pre-All-Star shooting that they were showing.
E, good to talk to you as always, buddy. What is the update with Andre? Because we know when Andre Roberson comes back defensively, he's going to help out a lot, and he's a good ball mover. What's the update on him and when you can see him back on the floor?
There's really nothing to be said right now about Andre Roberson. They hope to have him back before the end of the season, but I wouldn't put much stock in Andre Roberson contributing to this team in the regular season. And if they can't get him a good chunk of regular season games, I wouldn't count on him playing in the playoffs as well. This is a guy who's been out more than a year now, and he's still not to the point to where he's even engaging in games. He's not even on a G League assignment or anything of that nature to where you actually see him in contact. And that's been the most important part for him. Before he had his last setback, he was to a point to where he was doing consistent conditioning every day. He was starting to make those lateral movements, those sharp cuts that a defender of his caliber needs to make. He had to start that all over again when he had his setback toward the end of October. So to me, I wouldn't anticipate this guy playing in any games. I wouldn't anticipate seeing him all season. The Thunder's optimistic that he could come back, but at the same time, they shouldn't be reliant on him coming back and fixing this defense, which has frankly just not been very good since the start of January.
Spurs Thunder set the tip-off at 8:30. Erik Horne from the Oklahoman, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me anytime.